Good afternoon. How's everybody doing? Fantastic. Welcome to the great campus of Faribault and South Central College. My name is John Harper. I am the Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for South Central College, and I have been with this institution for a little over 8 years now, serving various capacities through student affairs and now serving as the Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. I want to take this time to thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to not just come get some free food, but to actually hear from the candidates so they can talk about the issues that mean the most to this bright and vibrant community. And with that being said, I will turn it over to Dr. Parker and North Johnson.
Not sure I can do a better job of introducing Dr. Parker, so here she is.
Thank you. So I want to read something before we get started. And so I know everyone in this room knows what's going on in Southeast in the United States, in Georgia, in North Carolina, etc. And, I had a granddaughter down in Augusta, and for 2 days we didn't hear from her. And we called the police to do a safety check, and she was okay. They don't have any power. They don't have anything. Luckily, they had a Blackstone so they could cook. We were fortunate more so than others. But I also have a really good friend that was in Asheville, and I was waiting to hear from her. And she posted on Facebook 2 days ago, and I just want to read this post because it's special when you think about it. She said, "From Asheville, we are safe. My heart breaks for all those who are not, who lost their homes, businesses, or lives. My heart is warmed and given life by the amazing outpouring of generosity and compassion from the community. People helping people, offering electricity, water, and food, setting up hotspots for communication, and keeping one another informed of where we can get water. Neighbors draining their pools to support a neighborhood. What might we do to keep this level of humanity and connection alive? This is humanity at its best." And I took that was her "We Are Safe" post. And I can't think of a better country to be in. I thank every one of you that thrive to be leaders in our community. I'm looking forward to hearing from you, and I think it's important that you had this opportunity to share with our students, because I always said that we're the community's college. We're educating young people to be civically engaged, and that means they're giving back to their communities. And that is so important for Southern Minnesota and as a nation. So thank you for coming and being a part of this important day and feeding into the minds and the hearts of our students. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for being here. And I want to personally thank every candidate for your willingness to step up and serve. I had the blessing to serve 10 years on a city council, and so I understand what you're getting into and what many of you have been doing. Service is not necessarily easy, but when you put your head on that pillow at night and understand that you've stepped up and are helping govern your respective organizations that you'd like to represent, you're going to feel good about that most of the time. Sometimes not. But anything that feels good all of the time usually isn't worth it. So keep that in mind. A big thank you again for being here, and we're going to kick this off. Michael Cross, come on up.
Hello, first of all, I'd like to thank the Chamber for having me and for having us all here today. Like as he said, my name is Mike Cross. I'm 63 years old, was born and raised in Faribault. Went to high school and college, mostly in Arizona. Lived there most of my adult life. Came back here in 2014 to home. Came back home, basically. I have 4 children. We've all attended classes at Faribault Public School Systems. I'm a member of the Booster Club, Faribault Booster Club, a member of the Loyal Order of the Moose, and I'm also a member of the Building and Grounds Committee at First English Church. I basically am running because I want to see that all kids get a good education. Okay, there's test scores, there's a lot of stuff on test scores. I'm not going into any of that stuff. I'm going to tell you what I think needs to be going on is we need to put the kids first. Politics and school boards don't exist, in my opinion. Although some of the opponents, they want to bring that up in every conversation we have. But basically, I am looking at what I can do to make things better. I shouldn't say that. I have been to more meetings than I've missed in the last 3 years. There's nobody that goes to more meetings than me. Besides, what's his name? Dick Dodowitz. I think he's beat me by 2. So I've seen what happens. I see the inside and the outside. People say we're overstaffed. Look at all the people under Jamie Bente. They got like 3 titles. So they're doing like 3 jobs for the price of 1. They talk about the grades or about the test scores. Well, if I go to Germany and I go take a test in their language, probably not going to do too well. In Faribault, we have a very unique community of diversity. Not everybody's up to speaking the proper languages yet. But my question is not why it's there. What are we going to do to change it? Got some ideas as far as some peer pressures going on and things like that. But basically, if you want common sense, I'm the guy to come to. I'm not the most highly educated. I have an associate's degree. Not a polished speaker, as you can tell. But I get the job done, and that's all that matters. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Candace Knudsen, and I'm glad everybody showed up for this get-together. And so a little bit about me. Well, first of all, I have to tell Mike that I agree with almost everything he has to say. He did a really good job. And then, so I graduated from Faribault High School. I moved away for 20-some years, and I got a bachelor's degree in psychology in California. And then I came back here, and what was I going to do? So I went back to school and got my teaching license. And so for the past 15 years, well, until I retired 2 years ago, I taught at Faribault Public Schools between the ALC and the high school. And so now I have a pretty good insider's view of like some of the things that are going on and where we could improve. And I know a lot of people, so I'm talking to teachers, paras, custodians, everybody, and getting, knowing like things that we could improve on or what we could change. And yeah, so that's one thing. And then I do agree that test scores aren't everything, although we really, that's like one of the first things that comes up. And I do think that with our diverse population and economy around here, that it's like we don't have every opportunity for our kids. And I think we need to expand that. So some of the things that I'm really important is like the pre-K. We find that if students go to our pre-K, through Faribault Public Schools, they stay in our schools, and they also do better with learning and reading and math. And then so some people call it trades pathways, but Faribault High School calls it career pathways. And so even 10 or 15 years ago, everybody needed to go to college. And I think we're finding that there's a lot more opportunities and students can pick up a lot less debt if they would go to on-the-job training, an apprenticeship. Got it. There's other ways that you can get into good paying jobs and make a contribution to our community and lots of other things. So I think my time's about up. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming. I'm Cassie Steves and I'm seeking re-election for my second term on the Faribault Public School Board. A little bit about myself. I'm actively involved in the Faribault community through my career at the Faribault Chamber. The Faribault Chamber is a private membership organization dedicated to enhancing our city's quality of life and our business climate. My husband and I actually met in Faribault Public High School. We have lifelong ties to Faribault, and we chose this as the place to raise our 3 kids. We have a 6th grader, a 1st grader, and one that will enter pre-K next fall. Over the last several years, in both my personal life and my professional life, I've developed a strong understanding of our local government operations, as well as a passion of how our government can work for its citizens. As a lifelong resident of Faribault, I really understand the importance of having a strong public school system and offer a unique perspective on how it relates to the economies of our community. My most important role, a parent of tiny falcons, it gives me a really vested interest in continuing this service on the Faribault Public School Board. I really want all of our kids to be successful, my kids and your kids. I remain committed to growing student achievement. All the other candidates have talked about test scores with a less than ideal budget, focusing on our district goals of being ready for kindergarten, reading well by 3rd grade, displaying middle grade math proficiencies, and graduating high school from Faribault Public Schools with real world employable skills. Along with this, I'd love to continue to grow some opportunities with students, with our student base, offering unique and innovative programming, such as language immersion and additional pathways. I thank everyone that voted for me in 2020. I ask for your vote on November 5th. However, win or lose, I'll always be a very proud Falcon.
Thanks for coming. This is my first time, I should say 1.5 times running. I did try last time when there was an open seat after Jonathan Wood had stepped aside, and Chuck Teal filled the position. I think he's doing a great job. I think it was a good choice. And in this 1.5, 2 years in between until today, I've learned a lot more about the city, a lot more about how City Council works. So it's been very educational. It's been very humbling. I think the team that we have as for City Council is very cohesive. I appreciate that there's different perspectives from each of them. We need that in order to move forward and better our community. So a little bit about me. I did bring my brochures if anyone's interested. I've been a Faribault resident for 4 years, born and raised here. I did move to the Twin Cities, was living there for about 24, 25 years. And thank you, Kim. And after moving back, I've seen a lot of very good growth, and I've also seen areas that I would appreciate growth being taken place in. Living outside of the city, you kind of get educated, you learn, you see, you know how to do things, how to work together to attain things. So I do have 14 years of experience in government. I worked for law enforcement. I worked in planning and community development. I also was in Parks and Recreation. I am on the HRA committee currently. I've been on the committee for 2 years. And speaking with that, I just want to commend South Central Technical College because there was a collaboration between the county and the HRA, the County Housing Economic Development Authority. So there's 6 homes right now within Twin Oaks subdivision that will be built. And from what I understand, the college will be building one of them. So that is awesome, you guys. You deserve an applause. So why am I running? Again, my skills and knowledge gained, my experience. I'm no longer in the government sector, I'm in the private sector. I want to use my skills and knowledge and just give back to the community. So that's why I'm running. Thank you for coming.
Good afternoon. I am Royal Ross, as he introduced me, and I'm just completing my 8th year on City Council. And when I took the oath of office back in 2017, I observed the opportunity to learn from and observe two of the more storied members of the Faribault City Council and two of the longer members of Faribault City Council, and Kay Duchesne and Steve Underdahl. And boy, am I glad I took the time to really observe and learn and listen to them. Fast forward now to December of 2023, I'm starting just finished my 6th year on City Council, and all of a sudden I'm the most senior member of the 6 of us. So the City Council has turned over dramatically in a very short period of time. So everybody in Faribault that was saying they wanted to see change on City Council, well, you've seen a lot of it in the last 6 years, because it has completely turned over, including the mayor, which is turning over again today, or this year. What I observed and learned along the way was that city government budgeting is extremely complicated and complex. You not only have to understand the expense mechanisms of it, but do you realize that of our general fund, roughly 70% of it is made up of personnel costs that have an automatic escalator, as it should for our employees, and then another 10% of it is made up of debt payments. Personally, I think that's very good for our city to have only 10% of our budget going for debt. I think that's very fiscally responsible. But that only leaves 20% left in what I consider a little bit of variable expenses. Things like replacing equipment and approving construction projects and things like that. Now you've got to combine that with the overview of the city government funding. It's not just property taxes. It's property taxes, it's LGA or local government aid. It's strong, consistent, and conservative use of both debt and reserves, and then it's also the use of franchise fees. So when you look at all of that, you've got to have a very broad lens to look at the Faribault City budget, but you also have to have a magnifying glass to really zero in and know how to combine all of the funding sources and use those funds to pay for all the expenses and have it be the least impactful to the citizens of Faribault. I believe I've done that by pressing our directors to extend the assets, their life of the assets out. I've voted no against some construction projects that I didn't think were reasonable. And I have been the best steward of Faribault City money that I can be. So I hope for one more term. I appreciate your support. I'm asking for your vote, and I thank you all for it.
All right, thank you very much, Chamber of Commerce, Nora, Cassie, Kim, Devin, thank you, and thanks, Dr. Parker, for hosting. Appreciate it. My name is Chuck Teal, and I am running for City Council. I've been on the council for 2 years, as I was chosen out of 17 applicants, including Mandy, to fill the vacant seat. I have truly enjoyed my time on the council, learning all aspects of how the city is run and getting to know the department heads. There are many things in my past that make me qualified to be on the council. The first is that I was a business owner downtown for 7 years. While downtown, I met so many people and grew a love for the historic downtown district. Secondly, my time as the membership director at the Chamber of Commerce. That gave me an opportunity to meet the over 400 business members and talk with them about what's important to them and learn as much as I could about them and their businesses. Lastly, I've been volunteering on various committees and task force in Faribault for 15 years. That experience has given me the opportunity to meet some more community members. I was a member of the Faribault Rotary Club. I helped with the United Way Allocation Committee, and I volunteered on countless hours downtown at the car cruise and other Main Street events. I'm often asked what I feel is most important issues in our community, and I'd like to share a couple of those today. First, I'd like to talk about the housing crisis going on in our country. There is a huge shortage of housing, not only in Faribault, but in the entire country. While I believe apartments are important, I'd like to focus more on home ownership opportunities. Owning a home and building equity is a great way to start creating wealth. Duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes would all be great for Faribault, along with even considering like a tiny house community. Secondly, we need to understand how lucky we are to have such a great historic downtown district. Not many communities are as lucky as us, and we need to preserve it. I really think we need an anchor business downtown that brings a ton of people downtown every day to shop and eat. Then we need to do what we can to encourage and support building owners to renovate and do updates. A thriving, prosperous downtown will drive tourism. The more people we can get downtown working and shopping and going to restaurants will help our great community grow. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you everyone for coming, and thank you to the Chamber, and thank you to South Central College. My name is Tom Spooner and I'm a candidate for mayor. I'm going to let my resume speak for itself. I've now been involved in Faribault City government for over 20 years. I started out on the library board. I spent 16 years on the planning commission and the last 6 years on city council. I feel I have the proven leadership to lead our community into the future. Our mayor is retiring. He's done a great job and I thank him for his support. Throughout the city in my last 6 years, I've also served on the Economic Development Authority. I serve as the Riverbend Nature Center board liaison. I'm very active in the community. I've lived here for over 28 years now. I moved here for my lovely wife, Jane. We have 4 grandkids. This is my hometown. I am proud to call Faribault my hometown. People ask me, why am I running? There's a whole bookload of issues that we have facing us. But 2 of the most important issues that's going to face our council is reshaping and redeveloping our downtown. The President's City Council has already set motions in place to make our downtown even better. The downtown master plan was passed when I first started on city council in about 2019. We're proud that that's moving forward. Also, as we're just developing and we're about to pass the Highway 60 West master plan. That's going to provide a good retail, commercial base out there with some nice housing options that we need in this city. So I look forward to serving you as your mayor, and thank you for your support.
Thank you for attending. Thank the Chamber. Thank South Central College for hosting. Why am I running for re-election? I care deeply about Rice County and the Rice County citizens. I am a lifelong resident of Rice County, a 5th generation farmer, married to wife Deb for 42 years. Together we raised 3 children, Misty, Mark, and Matt, who all live and work in Rice County. We're blessed with 7 grandchildren and 1 due within a week, the way it sounds, so we're excited to see that. I currently farm with sons Mark and Matt. Our family has been recognized as a County Farm Family of the Year, and we are a Minnesota Water Quality Certified farm. What do I support? Strong economic and ag development, bringing good paying jobs to Rice County. Affordable housing with opportunities for home ownership. A good example is at the Twin Oaks housing development that we talked about earlier. And the county was able to work with the city, nonprofits, and South Central College, as you heard, willing to build one of them homes for us. There'll be 6 homes built out of the 21 possible out there. So it's a start, and I hope we can continue finding opportunities like that to build. Another deal with the housing is allowing villages to expand their boundaries to let houses being built around their villages or municipalities without the use of a transfer development rate. And the third is allowing accessible dwellings to take care of family alongside of our current homes. Comprehensive and transportation system, including safe roads, It's always a project. Rice County handles a little over 400 miles of pavement, and we have about 75 miles of gravel roads. These need constant updates. We need to continue to rebuild, reshape, and keep them in the best condition we can. I support our public safety systems. We need a strong sheriff's department here. And there's a few other things, climate change, but I believe my experience as a Rice County Commissioner and past Soil and Water Board Supervisor highlight my qualifications and leadership skills to serve effectively. I understand the value of hard work, dedication, compromise, and working together to get things done. I am an active listener and an experienced ag business owner with strong financial management skills, using a common sense approach to get things done. I appreciate your support and look forward to your vote. Thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to grab this handy map here. You actually have this map right on your tables if you'd like to follow along. I use this, I put this map on everything I run. Okay, thank you, Faribault Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, South Central College. It's a pleasure to be here. I put this map of District 1 on everything that I put out and the campaign because I think it's really important to understand the kind of community we live in together and what connects us. And this is a little bit, my story is on this map. So I grew up here, right here in District 1, just north of Nearstrand, went to Nearstrand Elementary, was bused into the Faribault Public Schools, went off to college, lived outside of the state for many years, came back to raise my kids here. I live right now here in the southern part of Northfield. My kids are in the Northfield Public Schools. Just wonderful to be back. So why am I running? Well, I was as surprised as anyone by a proposal to put a mining operation right here along our Big Woods corridor, and likely to be followed by an asphalt plant. Well, there's a whole lot that went wrong with that process, and hundreds of neighbors got involved to challenge that. And in the end, it was just very disappointing. 4 out of the 5 commissioners, Rice County commissioners, voted against a real environmental review and for putting this mining operation in right along Prairie Creek. But my campaign isn't just about one poorly managed project. I mean, I'm learning about all kinds of opportunities for Rice County to do better across the board. I mean, we've got 500 employees. We've got a $100 million budget in Rice County, and across all these departments, there are so many opportunities to do better. And I would love to talk about affordable housing or social services. I'm going to focus on 2 things here. One is this election. So I'm running, right? But we had 3 commissioners up for election this year. District 5, we have 1 name on the ballot, running unopposed. District 2, we have 1 name on the ballot, again, unopposed. And in District 1, this district, we have me and the incumbent. We didn't even have enough people to have a primary. Now, well, when that happens, I mean, obviously, we don't have healthy competition, and we don't have commissioners working to earn votes. Now, why are we in this position? Well, when you don't involve people well on an everyday basis, when people try to get involved and they feel put off by the process, or when they don't feel represented by our own Board of Commissioners. I mean, we haven't had 1 woman serve as a Rice County Commissioner since before the first iPhone was sold. Okay, that's just not okay. To move on, I mean, how we manage natural resources here in Rice County. So this whole area has this generic ag zoning, right? Now, meanwhile, our Big Woods State Park is probably our largest tourist attraction in Rice County. We get 217,000 visitors in that park just last year alone. They had around 500,000 people going there during COVID. And yet, when it's zoned ag, that means it's basically a green light. Propose an asphalt plant, propose an ethanol plant, propose something really disruptive. And if you've heard about it, you have 60 days to try to stop it under state law. Now, there's a great proposal on the table to rezone this as what's called the Big Woods Conservation District, and my time is up, so I can't talk about that. But there's just so many exciting possibilities, I think, when we have fresh leadership on our county commissioner, our Board of Commissioners. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Keith Allen, and I am running for the Minnesota House of Representatives in 19A. I hail from Kenyon, Minnesota. Over there, I'm a business owner, a farmer. I attempt to keep up with 2 little kids that are in public school over there, and have an amazing wife. A little bit about me. I was also a public school kid. I was born and raised in Minnesota here, down by Iota. And my generation was part of the Minnesota Miracle for Education. After I graduated, went to Hawkeye Community College. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for community colleges for the work that they do, and just an amazing program they had down there, and that's what took me to Iowa, so don't hold that against me. And then I had the opportunity to be able to come back to the University of Minnesota at St. Paul, and that's where I got my bachelor's degree, met my wife, and me and my wife decided to settle in rural Kenyon, Minnesota at our farm. So the reason why I got into this race was the conversations that I have been having with my neighbors, friends, my family, and what I've seen in my business. And it seems like things have gotten really difficult over the last few years. On our farming operation, it's gotten more difficult to be able to get things done because of particular mandates, or whether it's trying to get loans or insurance within the business. Same thing. The 3 I's have been killing us over the last few years: insurance, inflation, and interest rates. And that's the common theme that I hear from many individuals as we go through the process, and I talk to our friends and family and people at the doors, is that it's been more difficult to be able to raise a family here in Minnesota and try to get or see things happen. They're working better for everybody. So that's one of the things I'm going to focus on when I get to the Minnesota Capitol. I want to focus on K-12 education. Try to bring back the Minnesota Miracle. We have an opportunity to educate the next batch of kids and give them more opportunity than they've had before. The other side of it is building a better business environment to be able to develop those growing entrepreneurs just like me and others, to be able to have the ability to get the next step up rung up on the ladder and be successful and have a place to be able to raise their family. The other thing I want to focus on is affordable housing. I agree with your city council member that spoke here earlier. Ownership is the best way to be able to establish long-lasting wealth within a family, and that's something that we have to do a better job of here in Minnesota. So with that, my door's always open. Please feel free to reach out to me. Like I said, I've been having conversations with people at the door, and really it's those conversations that have, as I've door knocked, that have really brought it home for me and showed me the importance of why this is the right time and why we need good representation at the Capitol to be able to make sure our voice is heard. So I look forward to being your voice at the Minnesota Capitol. Have a great day.
Well, hello everyone. I am very happy to be here with you all today. I have to be honest and let you know this kind of public speaking really makes me nervous, but I'm very passionate and deeply committed to the work that will strengthen our families and our communities. My name is Jessica Navarro, and I'm a candidate for the Minnesota House of Representatives representing District 19A. I have a longtime connection with Faribault. Some of you may know my grandmother, Antonia Navarro. I am proud to continue her commitment to our community's well-being through my work supporting Rice County initiatives and families. I have worked for nonprofits for several years. I help families connect to resources and services. I empower them to create the best lives for themselves. This is a hand up, not a handout. I am running for Minnesota House in order to strengthen Southern Minnesota communities and the businesses and families in them. With my campaign, we do not elicit fear. I have much more positive plans for Southern Minnesota. If elected, I will advocate for robust funding to communities through local and county government aid. Southern Minnesota needs this funding to improve infrastructure without raising property taxes. I am a strong supporter of small businesses and entrepreneurs. Small businesses are the heart of Southern Minnesota communities. I'm anxious to learn more from small business owners about what you need from state government. But one thing I know is that businesses of all sizes need adequate and affordable housing for their employees. Employees also need affordable childcare. Accessible childcare provides immeasurable benefits to employers. After a tragic accident 14 years ago, I was destined to a life in wheelchair. It took me 2 years of incredibly hard work to get to where I'm at today. I promise that I will work in a bipartisan manner and work just as hard for all my constituents. I ask for your support on November 5th. Thank you.